BeInstinct.com. I'm Hala Maroc. I'm sitting here with Dee1. I'm so excited. You made a fan today. We are at BET's Music Matters, but you are all over the place today. You dropped a single. You were on the BET Hip Hop Music Awards Cypher, and you killed it, I heard, through Twitter. It's on my DVR. I'll watch it later.
Appreciate it.
I'm hyped for you.
Appreciate it.
And ladies, guys are going to be paying attention anyway. I feel like you have a dope fan base. But in person, he looks like J. Cole and Drake and a Rasta like morphed together. It's so cool. Alright, so introduce yourself.
I wasn't supposed to smile, but that made me laugh.
I know, I had to make you laugh. Get comfortable.
Yeah, I'm D1, the one man army, and like she said, today is a big day for me. I'm truly, you know, I'm a student of life.
That's probably my hair.
I'm just a student of life, you know what I mean? And sometimes when you feel yourself going through a transformation, I've been going through a transformation for the last couple of weeks. And tonight was probably the culmination of that transformation, you know, and so it just feels like, it's like right when the caterpillar is finna turn into that butterfly, you hear me? That's how I feel, yeah.
Flourish.
I feel like that, and you don't start getting all excited, you know, you start feeling like, all right, cool.
You gotta take it all in.
You gotta take it all in, and you know, you understand it's a responsibility, you know what I'm saying? So, that's all.
Everybody ain't gonna like you. But at the end of the day, you only need one person's approval. That's the one that gave you life. Just feel where I'm coming from. So tired of riding the fence. Feel like the Lord looking down like me, I ain't convinced. It all hit me one night. What's my purpose on this earth? I think I lost sight. Alright, it's kinda hard to stay focused up in this game. So many bad influences be tempting you to change. I know people see I'm a positive dude on stage, but it's the difference between being positive and being staged.
So I started rapping 9 years ago, and I've been working hard. I've been paying dues, and probably since 2011, that's when my career really started taking off. Okay. That's around the time I quit my job. I was a middle school math teacher at the time, and I decided to walk away from that. When I walked away, I didn't know if this was gonna work out or not. I had never got paid to do a show. I had never made a dime from music, but I had faith that this was my calling. You know, was to do this for at least a little while, and here I am 4 years later. Things have really started taking off for me, but there's another level, you know what I mean? And I know it takes time, but there's just another level. And
as long as you see it, though, you know, it's all about the vision.
Correct. It's all about the vision, and there's been so many things that have, like, I could smell the other level. It's like the door has been cracked open. I got 1 foot in the door, you know what I'm saying? I got a foot, I got a shoulder, I got half of my chest in there, and I got my head in there as well. But you know, I'm waiting to all the way get in there and close it behind me, and like, yo, I'm all the way here, you know? And I've been struggling with that, and I finally figured out why.
Why?
Because not everyone is given a platform or a gift, you know, for the same reason. Some people, unfortunately, they're put down here to just be examples for other people of how to mess up a blessing, you know what I'm saying? And they're doing it for the wrong reasons. So they have talent, but the whole reason why they choose to use their talent is not to glorify anything righteous. Me, from day one, people know I want to do something positive with my platform and everything, right? Okay. So it's a difference between when God says, yo, I'm going to give you this platform because I want you to shine, because when you shine, it make me look good. You know, it's like if I work for your company. When I go out there and I do my thing and I sell all the cell phones, I'm making you...
You're an extension of me.
Yeah, exactly. I'm an extension of God. Okay. You know what I'm saying? And it's to the point where I've seen glimpses of success because I'm making him look good to a certain extent. But I think that he wants more for me. Everybody around me knows that he wants more for me. Like, everybody around me, it's obvious, you know what I'm saying? But I also know that there's reasons why I haven't gotten there. And some of it is it takes time. But time is a teacher in and of itself. You're not supposed to stay stagnant with time. You're supposed to be getting better as time passes. So I can't settle for being good or even really good. I have to be great. And I'm not just talking about as an artist. I'm talking about mentally. I'm talking about, you know, personally. You know, I'm talking about spiritually. So me just finishing my metamorphosis means that I'm going to be straight. I'm going to make my boss look good. and I'm also going to know what to do with this platform and with these blessings. You feel me?
Okay. So I heard you mention this on stage, and personally, just being like a fan of music, going into mainstream, it's hard to kind of balance the whole. I want to preach and I want to be a man of God and all that, and be mainstream. So, and a lot of artists have tried to do that. Lupe does that, very well. Yes. Shout out to Lupe. So, what makes you think that you doing it is gonna work out in the mainstream level?
Because I know, I just know I know that when I get in front of people, it's just I connect with them. And it's not because of what I'm saying even, it's because of the place where what I'm saying is coming from. It's coming from a real place of authenticity and experience. So even if I haven't been to jail, I go and speak to prisons frequently, and those brothers can relate to me, and they listen to what I'm saying. Like if I'm telling them how to make $1 million and how to break out of prison, you would think like the way they listen to me, I speak to millionaires. I'm not a millionaire, you know what I mean? I got millionaires who can't wait to take me out to lunch and want to talk and chop it up when I get home. And it's like, why? It's because of my perspective on things. But even with that, so I know that mainstream, I'll be good, like that's fine, because I just have that knack for relating to relate to people, exactly. So that's not gonna be an issue for me. And if anything, it was my problem. It was to my detriment that for so long I thought the same thing that you said. I was like, if I'm too open about my faith, then it'll hinder me from going mainstream. People wouldn't want to hear that.
So far you haven't seen that that's the case, though.
No, so far that hasn't been the case. It seems like the more bold I am, the better things go for me. The song that helped jump my career off was called J50 and Weezy. It's a song where I was challenging Jay-Z, 50 Cent, and Lil Wayne, Anytime I try to water myself down, I do good, you know what I'm saying? Like the Cypher tonight, I did good.
So you watered yourself down for the Cypher?
Yeah, man. And I feel bad about that, you know what I mean?
But you still killed it, though.
And that's God, you know what I'm saying? But I know what I could have did.
Look, just holla at me if you need that real. And if it's true that words are weapons, Deepak steal. I did it solo, no aid, but D's that ill. I reach and build, and thieves that kill can't steal that skill for real. I'm a positive black man, beware in the streets. Don't compare me letters to the man in America Lee. Sit back, let me teach. No sabbatical, I'm radical, I'm unashamed. Coming for their neck, watch your clavicle. Stay deep, who was your cosign? Mine was God.
So what's this? I saw you doing this on stage and everybody was doing it back to you. So what does this mean?
It's 3 is up, that's the code I live by. It ain't the G code, it ain't blood, it ain't Crip or none of that. This is 3 is up. 3 is up represent be real, be righteous, and be relevant in everything you do.
Be real, be righteous, be relevant. I feel like that's the best advice to any upcoming rapper, any upcoming artist, or anybody even reaching any type of goal.
Anything. You want to be real, because if you're not real with yourself when you look in the mirror every day, you're going to have an identity crisis after a while, because you got to get into character to go outside, That's what I was doing for a while. Like, oh, how am I supposed to look if I'm a rapper that's going to be on TV? How am I supposed to look if I'm a rapper that's signed, blah, blah, blah. That's not being real, you know what I mean? Being real is like, I feel comfortable in this. I look good. Oh, such and such said this don't look good. Man, forget what that person think, because I'm really comfortable right now. You know what I'm saying? That's being real. Being righteous means drawing that line in the sand and saying right is right and wrong is wrong, straight up. And you want to be righteous, you know what I mean? If it ain't righteous, then no, I can't co-sign that behavior. That don't mean I have to hate you as a person, but I cannot co-sign that behavior. And being relevant, being relevant is just, I just want to be a factor. I want to be in the conversation when people talking about who the dopest MCs, Like,
and that's what makes you appealing through all of this.
Yeah, it's to be relevant. Exactly. You could be doing all this and not have any relevance culturally, and it's like, well, you're really wasting your time. So be relevant. I've been in relationships before. You can be in a relationship with somebody. Somebody could be your boyfriend or your girlfriend, but they're still not relevant to you, meaning that it's just a title. You know what I'm saying? And it's no feeling behind that. So you could work at a job, and an employee could not be relevant to you. You're supposed to treat every employee with respect. You live by principles and morals. You know what I mean? Live by the 3 is up. And that's just what I mean when I say it. Be relevant, man. Make sure that everyone, you treat the the least like the greatest, and the greatest like the least.
I could respect that. What's next for you?
What a single just came out today on iTunes, Against Us, and I want people to go buy it. I don't feel bad about, I actually do be kind of feeling bad when I have to when I say, yo, buy my single, buy my single.
Oh, go cop your his single. It's good.
No, like really go cop it, right? Like, and it's not so that I could get rich off of it. I'm signed to a label. Truthfully, I don't make that much money off of my music that sells. If you really want to know the truth, the artists don't get the bulk of the money when you sign to a label. So
That was actually going to be my next question. So, as you've done it both ways, basically, as an independent artist and as signs. What do you see as the differences, and what do you like about both sides?
well, like I said, it's not about money when I tell people to go buy my music at this point. It's about making a statement. It's about people quick to say, we need more of that. Oh yeah, baby, I'm gonna support you, cause like that's positive. We need that. Or people our age, your age and my age, like yeah, we need that. But then we don't go out and support it. You know what I'm saying? We don't pay to come to the show. We don't pay for the music. So my thing is when I tell people go buy it, it's because I want to make statements. I want it to be like wow, like I like them wow moments. You know what I mean? So that's why I tell people go buy the music. The difference between being signed and being independent, truthfully, is that when you signed, you have more of a team around you, and with the team, that just means you have to have more of a compromising spirit to where the answer might not always be exactly how you want it to be to something. It might be finding a happy medium. If you want Chipotle and I want McDonald's, let's meet in the middle. Let's go to Arby's. I don't know.
Okay.
Like I don't know, but just that type of stuff and things. You just have to learn how to. To me, it's important. Even though you sign, it's still important to have personal relationships with people. So I still make sure that I do that, And you got to know that it's a business, though. And I do know that I'm a product at the end of the day. And at the end of the year, you're going to be like, yo, if the iPhone 4 ain't selling, then what we going to do, we're going to take it off. Why even have it in the store anymore? The 6 and the 5 is selling. Keep them out there on display. You know what I mean? So is Dee1 selling? Is Dee1... is he projected that he gonna sell if we keep him around? I live with that reality, because I know people that had a shot, didn't operate with the right focus, and then they lost it, and now they sitting at home, and they like, man, what if? Yeah. I had a what if moment tonight with the Cypher, you heard me? And I've been depressed for the last 3 weeks. What? Real talk.
But I don't think there's a reason to be depressed. Go on Twitter, go on anything,
I'm gonna look at it. I got my publicist holding my phone because it's like I don't like. I'm just on some other stuff right now. And people told me that my verse was dope before I put the Cypher out. You know what I'm saying? So I don't doubt that it was dope by somebody's standards, who I trust and love them people. But by my standards and knowing fully what I was put here to do, you know what I'm saying? Like a F student can be tutored by a D student. You feel me? You could be a D student and you could tutor an F student because he's worse than you. You know what I mean? But if you a B student, you can't get tutored by nothing but an A student. You know what I'm saying? So you just got to make sure, and when I say that, I'm not even talking about other people. I'm talking about you got to make sure that the way you thinking, I can't compare myself to other people who might have had mediocre verses. And it's like, well, your stuff was dope compared to theirs, D. No, but what did Nas's verse sound like? What did Eminem verse sound like? Straight up. That's what it is. And we comparing ourselves to, hoopla whoop-de-doo,
That's not who your competition is anyways.
That's not who my competition is. Matter of fact, my competition is none of them. My competition is myself. And knowing, like, wow, like I did well tonight at that show. I feel good, you know what I'm saying? I did well, yeah. And I could have did stuff differently, but it's not about, I'm not obsessed with perfection. It's just my standard that I set for myself. That's all. So I went through this the last couple of weeks. It's been tough. I've been driving people crazy around me, telling them like, man, I should have did this, I should have said that. It's been tough, like for real, because I'm the only one got to sleep at night and deal with that. But you know what? I'm over it. The Cypher came out, and the most important thing is I feel like I learned from that thing. And
that's what it's all about.
I learned from it, and now it's time to get it.
All right. So what do you got coming up? Where can we find you? And we can wrap it up after that.
Top of 2015, I got my new EP coming out, and the records you heard me perform tonight, they all going to be on the EP. You dig? So it's called the Threes Up EP. Okay. And that'll be out at the top of the year. Find me online, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram at Dee1 Music, DEE, the number 1 music, and D1music.com. And that's it. And check out the new single, Against Us, and the music video coming soon. You heard me?
And I'm Hala Maroc. You can find me at Hala Maroc, at Manic Instinct on Instagram. And you can look out for this interview and everything else on upcoming artists coming up on ManicInstinct.com.